Good evening, everyone. If we had any snow on the ground or any in the forecast, we'd be expecting blizzard conditions.
Even so, the wind that's on the way could lead to several problems. Let's begin with Kevin Lawrence. Kevin?
Hey guys, good evening. Thank you very much. We'll talk about the advisories because we have a very large high wind warning issued by multiple National Weather Service offices across the northern tier of the United States, certainly taking up the entire first warm viewing area. A high wind warning where gusts may get up to about 60 miles per hour, starting first in the west early tomorrow morning, spreading east as we go throughout the day, and the wind will likely carry over into Thursday, so a prolonged high wind event is likely. For those of you in the Jamestown area right now, still under a high wind watch. That'll be determined later on tonight or tomorrow whether that becomes an advisory or upgraded to a high wind warning. All right, let's take a look at this hour by hour. We'll start at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Not much wind over central and eastern North Dakota, but the wind picks up farther toward the west in eastern Montana. The higher winds spread again from the west toward the east as we go through the late morning and certainly into the afternoon. Now, typically we'd find the winds begin to subside somewhat around sunset. Not the case for tomorrow. More atmospheric dynamics in place, meaning perhaps some of the highest winds will be tomorrow evening, maybe just after sunset, and the high winds will carry over through the night tomorrow night and into the first half of Thursday. We're talking about a blustery couple of days. I'll detail the rest of the forecast coming up a little bit later on. Back to you, Monica.
All right, thanks a lot, Kevin.
But just how much time do you have to prepare for the winter? Well, I'm not a meteorologist, so let's check in with Kevin Lawrence and see if there's any snow in the forecast. Kevin?
Well, I'm just wondering, there are some people, I'm sure, Amanda, that would like to see the scene behind me. This is just from a few minutes ago in Banff, Alberta, getting some heavy snow all day today. Now, this is out of the country, and that's where a lot of people, I think, would like to see it stay. But, you know, it's just a matter of time before snow will make its way toward North Dakota. Not for a while, but we've got some heavy snow here, not far from Calgary, which is where Banff is in Alberta. But we've got plenty of clouds eventually coming into the area later on tonight in response to this strong storm moving through. Mainly dry, but the winds are going to be on the increase. Right now with a clear sky, we're down to 29 degrees in Dickinson, 27 in Hettinger, 34 in Bismarck. We're dropping off to near freezing just about the entire viewing area, and that's the same from our network of Sky Spies reporting low to mid-30s. Thank you, Sky Spies, and the big break here from any wind we've had as of late. Certainly calm conditions, a delightful evening otherwise with no wind in Bismarck and Garrison and in Hettinger. Guarantee you it will not be this calm come tomorrow, certainly by this time tomorrow evening with winds gusting well over 45 miles per hour. So we'll break it down and talk about the calm weather for tonight becoming a stormy outlook for Wednesday and Thursday. Preceding the gusty winds here, 8 o'clock in the morning, a band of maybe some rain or snow showers with temperatures near freezing early on. The winds won't be strong at all until we get beyond the 8 o'clock hour. Although if you're watching us in Montana, the winds will likely be picking up by about sunrise or shortly thereafter, and the high winds spread from east, or rather west, toward the east here as we go into the afternoon. 6 o'clock snapshot about this time tomorrow evening. Very tight pressure gradient in place, and that means winds again likely exceeding between 40 and 55 miles per hour. But in the morning with a light wind, a chance for some rain or snow showers advancing through the area. Skies do clear out as the winds begin to increase here, and temperatures will be falling off into the afternoon. But again, remember, the blusteriest part of the day will be in the afternoon with the highest winds and falling temperatures through the 30s, and will be quickly ending up into the 20s by about the time sunset arrives. So once again, high wind warning for the entire first warm viewing area. It starts tomorrow and goes through all of Thursday morning. 7-day forecast, the high winds ushering in the colder weather with sub-freezing highs Friday and Saturday. Look at the lows in the low to mid-teens. Of course, the coldest weather of the season thus far. So there is your week ahead.
And that weekend's gone down a little bit, hasn't it?
A little bit. This is a pretty strong storm, which mainly stays in Canada, but it's pulling in that colder air thanks to those high winds.
All right, thanks,
So
Kevin.
you're saying don't mow the lawn tomorrow?
Well, you might want to. Just don't bag it. It'll blow away.
So if tomorrow is trash day in someone's neighborhood, will they have similar problems, Kevin?
Well, if the garbage is collected before, let's say, noon, that could be a possibility because that's when the highest winds will be for tomorrow. But backing off a lot tomorrow afternoon, so the worst will be over. But we have a ways to go before that happens. Let's take a look what's happening right now, and let's take a look as to why it is so windy. It all has to do with the pressure gradient. Low pressure in southern Canada. You couple that with high pressure across the western states. Very tight pressure gradient. these lines of equal pressure. We call them isobars. They're packed very close together, which means the pressure difference is very, very different over a short amount of space. That is what's giving us the high winds going into the evening hours. Garrison today, 72-mile-per-hour winds earlier in the day. Dickinson at 64 miles per hour, along with Minot, Williston 62, and Bismarck at 60 miles per hour. Look at some of these Sky Spy photos. Trampoline blowing in the wind. These things seem to always take off when it is windy like this. That was from Garrison. And we had a band of snow move through north central North Dakota. Whiteout conditions for a brief spell here in the Bottineau area. Robert snapping that photo. And unfortunately, Old Glory kind of ripped apart here because of the high winds, again, in excess of 60 miles per hour. The wind may have backed off a little bit the past hour or two, but it's still going to be a very blustery night with winds gusting between 45 and 55 miles per hour tonight and the first half of tomorrow. Alan, I'll talk about the 7-day forecast and see if there's improvement on the way coming up.
Haven't heard about any damage from the wind tonight, Kevin, or the wind that's gone on all day, actually, but I imagine there has been some.
A little bit, like that photo I showed you with the trampoline tumbling about. But as far as any major damage, have not had any reports of that, nor of any power failures. That's possible, but if there are, let us know. That would be great, but hopefully not much of that going to be taking place here. The winds are starting to back off a little bit, but still we will be in high wind warning criteria the remainder of the night and the first half of tomorrow. Gust to 70, I don't think so now. Probably more like 50 to maybe still 60 miles per hour, but overall winds on the average for tonight, gusts-wise, between 45 and 55 miles per hour. So high wind warning continues through the morning hours tomorrow, then the winds back off substantially. Right now, colder air is coming in from the north here. 29 in Dickinson, 27 in Williston and Minot, 35 in Bismarck. The snow ending up east of 83, some gusty snow showers with reduced visibilities moving off toward the James and Red River valleys, not so much farther toward the west. First Warn Sky Spies, of course, reporting on the blustery weather as well. 27 in Watford City and Webo, 31 with snow showers in Gackle. Thank you, Sky Spies. The wind still strong, but again, not as strong farther toward the west for now. Winds around 30 miles per hour, sustained near the Montana border and for Bismarck, but 41 in Minot. And again, you throw in the occasional gusts, and we're down or up to 55 miles per hour in Jamestown. Gusting recently to 52 in Minot and Bismarck, 58 in Mobridge. You can kind of see here by the shade here of the graphic that where we see some of that white, that's where the higher wind gusts are, and it's lining up right now, especially over the eastern half of North Dakota and South Dakota. Farther toward the west, again, not as windy. It's still windy, but gusting here to 40 to 45 miles per hour. And I think that's the range we're going to be at for a majority of the night. So the snow showers are moving out, drier weather farther toward the west, some clearing. Unfortunately, it's also resulting in the cold weather coming in. And for some, we might not be above freezing again for a couple of days. So some of the coldest air of the season is here and still arriving. Now, tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock, still windy. Not as windy as it is now, but average winds between 20 and 40 miles per hour. But notice these temperatures early on in the low 20s, slow to warm through, if you want to call warm, through the 20s here into the morning hours. And then by the noon hour, look at this, temperature still in the mid to upper 20s and low 30s, but the wind starts to back off here as the high wind warning expires. And then afternoon, expect northwest winds to west winds between 15 and 30 miles per hour. Cold weather stays behind, though. Temperatures, again, near freezing for highs Friday, Saturday, and then lows in the low to mid-teens. Some recovery Sunday into early Monday, and I'm tracking a storm that could be here in time for Thanksgiving. That's still a week away. A lot can happen between now and then, but certainly we'll keep our eyes on that in the coming days. So there is your week ahead.
Advantages of short hair. Never gets messed up in the wind.
Yeah, you're fine. That's right. Yeah. All the gray blew away too, Alan. Good job.
Hey, I like it. All right.